Spoilers for season 2. How many devils would Denji have to kill to be a billionaire? The answer may surprise you. Now, this video is more complicated to make than you would think, or at least the calculations were. Because in the entire manga, we're only given 2 devil values. The value of the tomato devil at 400,000 yen, and the value of Chainsaw Man's heart at $2 million. But not only are these two numbers wrong, they're also not enough data. They're wrong because of a little thing called inflation. Chainsaw Man is set in 1997, and $2 million then is now worth $3.8 million, and 400,000 yen is now worth 428,000 yen. Now that we have the correct numbers, we still can't find the quickest route to Denji's fortune, because these two numbers are nowhere near enough data. We have the numbers for 2 devils at completely opposite ends of the power scale. I mean, we could just use these numbers and say Denji has to kill the tomato devil 334,764 times to be a billionaire, or we could say he just needs to kill himself 263 times. But neither of those two options is interesting or realistic. Well, actually, I take that back. A plot where Denji fakes his death 263 times could be kind of interesting. But after you fake your death 3 times, I'm pretty sure people are going to stop believing you when you do it a 4th. So we're going to take a look at other devil prices. But there's nothing official in the manga, but that's okay, because I'm sure there's tons of data about it online. And there's nothing. Absolute squat. So we're gonna have to make some numbers up, but I'm not doing this based on, oh, he looks like he's worth 30,000, and oh, he looks like he's worth 70,000. No, we're not doing that. We're using maths. But I'm not doing an individual price for every single devil, because there's a devil for every tier. So if I gave a price for every devil, we'd be here all day. And I create a new devil, the figuring out the value of every devil. So I've got a power scale from 1 to 10, and I've put the devils into groups, each with a different average price. I'm also only including devils from part 1. But the power scale is so brilliant that you'll be able to add devils from part 2 no problem. The system basically works by grouping devils of a similar power together. So the Bat Devil and the Leech Devil are in the same tier, and any new devils that get added to Chainsaw Man with the same-ish power as them will be added in the same tier as them. And any fan-made devils with the same relative power will be in the same tier as well. Tier 1 is literally only the Grape Devil, and it's $500. And honestly, I think that's overpricing it. I mean, look at this guy! I'm just thinking this is the lowest tier, but maybe some devils in this tier will be worth $500. But not this guy. I'd pay you $500 so I never have to see him again, but not kill him. I could kill him with a hot water bottle and a dream. Tier 2, or as I like to call it, the fruit and veg tier. I never said I was original. This is the only tier where we use the numbers from the manga. Each devil here is worth 428,000 yen, or, and probably more reasonably, $2,987, but really, $3,000. Because who would charge $2,987 for anything? I mean, it's such a stupid number. Who would look at this number and say, yes, I like that number, and I want to see a lot more of it? Fucking no one! Tier 3 is where I have to activate me noggin. There's no official numbers for this, but we're comparing the tomato devil to the fish devil. Why the fish devil? Because this tier is all about non-threatening animals, and I think the fish is an average-sized non-threatening animal. Plus, we actually see him in Chainsaw Man. The average tomato costs 0.89, and the average mackerel costs 14.95, which is 16.8 times bigger. So if we times 3,000 by 16.8, then we get 50,400. So this tier is worth an average of $50,000, which I think is reasonable, because the devils in this tier include the pig devil, the mantis devil, the fish devil, and all basic fiends. Not like these guys, more like this guy. For tier 4, I did some similar maths. The same way I think a fish is an average-sized non-threatening animal, I also think a fox is an average-sized threatening animal, and the average fox costs $5,000. Jesus! Why? How? Who did this? Anyway, this is 334.448 times more expensive than the average fish. So 50,000 times 334.448 equals way too much! That's way too expensive for this tier of devil. I mean, if devils were real, I could see them going for this price, but with the context of Chainsaw Man, these numbers simply don't make sense. Chainsaw Man, one of the most powerful devils in existence, had a hit on him worth $2 million, so these guys in tier 4 should not be worth 16.7 million. So I need a new method to calculate their worth. If animal unit price won't cut it, then we need something that will. Devils, like a lot of things, are priced on their power. I mean, look at this dog, and then look at this dog. Now, these prices may not make sense until you see the whole picture. Yeah? See? Makes sense now. Anyway, that's not important. Devils get their power through people fearing their name. That's why the gun devil is so strong and the grape devil is so weak, because a gun is threatening to everyone and a grape is only threatening to a toddler. So how much scarier is a fox than a fish? Not very much, but I only put the fox here because of the abilities it has. The snake devil has the same abilities, but I think we can all agree snakes are way scarier than foxes. So they're a better reference point for this. Going back to the original question, how much scarier is a snake than a fish? At least 10 times scarier. Now I know a lot of you will say that this isn't a big enough difference, but but I would say you're just being dramatic. Do you have any idea how big of a difference 10 is? It's huge! Just hold on a sec and listen to this example. Imagine you're driving at 70 miles an hour. If you go 2 times faster than this, then that's 420 miles per hour. Most cars can't even reach that speed. And if you go 6 times faster, that's 420 miles an hour. Okay, that's a huge speed. Now just bear with me. If you go 10 times faster, that's 700 miles an hour. That's only 67 miles off the speed of sound. I mean, here, have another example. If you travel 100 miles at 700 miles an hour, it will take you 8.5 minutes to do that. But if you're going 10 times slower, it will take you an hour and 25 minutes. So that's why it's 10 times more scary. Some of you will still say only, but I'll say stay mad. Anyway, so that makes the tier 4 devils worth $500,000. And tier 4 is the snake devil, the muscle devil, the leech devil, the bat devil, the fox devil, and all advanced fiends. The only reason I put the advanced fiends here instead of further up on the list, depending on how scary their names are, is because fiends are weaker than their devil selves. Like, a lot weaker. I mean, the Blood Devil is one of the most powerful devils we're shown, but Power, the Blood Fiend, is not that powerful at all. Tier 5 is the existential tier, or the fiction tier. We have the Zombie Devil, the Ghost Devil, the Eternity Devil, the Cursed Devil, the Stone Devil, and the Doll Devil. And I know Stone and Dolls are 100% real, but they were too strong to put in tier 3, and not scary enough to put in the next tier, so deal with it. This tier was the hardest to find a price for because of 2 factors. 1, none of these things are real, so it's hard to find out how scary they would actually be. And 2, me. I started on tier 1 and worked up to tier 4. Then I started working on tier 10 and worked my way down to tier 6. So this tier is stuck in an awkward middle where the price has to be higher than the last tier, but not too much higher, but also close to the next tier, but not too close. So I came up with a sum of $3.78 million because I personally think 7.5 times higher than the last tier is right. 10 times higher makes it too close to the next tier, and 5 times higher is too cheap. So 7.5 is a beautiful middle ground. Also, the abilities in this tier are good, don't get me wrong, but their abilities all have drawbacks. The Zombie Devil can make zombies, but they're all slow, so they can just be shot from a distance. The Stone Devil allows anyone contracted with it to turn anything into stone, but it takes such a long time to charge up, so the guy doing it could just be stopped if you do a little bit of prep work beforehand. And the Ghost Devil can only see you if you're scared of it. So that'll work on like civilians and stuff, but devil hunters will not be scared, so it's practically useless against them. Moving on, because I can't be bothered to talk about the other 3 devils in this tier. Tier 6. This tier is full of one-hit wonders, but that one hit is fatal. Like the Future Devil, he can see into the future. Cool, how is that useful, I hear you cry? How is it not? If I could see into the future, I would be the richest man on the planet. I would win the lottery every week, win every bet I place, and nothing will ever surprise me. I would be an Oracle. The only reason he's not in a higher tier is because he's crazy. The Typhoon Devil can create a natural disaster, the Cosmos Devil can destroy anyone's mind, and the Mold Devil, although it might not sound scary, it can grow mold in your brain, so even if you have a healing factor, you'll die. So how much? $15,120,000. Because basically their abilities are at least twice as strong as the previous tier, and they also don't have a wind-up for their attack, which I think makes them twice as powerful again. Like, imagine me and you were having a duel, but I start with my gun loaded and pointing at you, and you start with your gun and ammo in separate pockets. You're gonna lose every time just because I don't have to like wind up my shot. I just shoot you and you're done. So they're twice as powerful, then twice as powerful again, and as even the most stupid mathematician will tell you, 2 plus 2 is 4.
-1, that's 3, quick maths.
We once again move on to tier 7, the hybrid tier. And this is another tier where Chainsaw Man actually gave us some numbers to work with. These 3 guys took a $2 million contract to kill Chainsaw Man, but I honest to God think these guys sold themselves short. Not once in the anime or manga do we see a hybrid get beat by a non-hybrid, with the exception of Makima. But she didn't really count as an ordinary devil, so my point still stands. Also, we never even see a hybrid beat another hybrid on their own. They need external help to beat each other. They are leagues above every other devil, so comparing them to the last tier, a tier where I state that the devils have no drawbacks to their attacks, how do the hybrids compare? They have to be at least 10 times more powerful. I mean, the bomb hybrid fought the Mold Devil's brain attack thing that I said would kill you even with a super strong healing factor. And not only did they survive without a scratch, but they also killed the guy who was using it. And Denji fought the Typhoon Devil and the bomb hybrid and still won. So I think them being 10 times more powerful is honestly lowballing it, because Rize wasn't even trying and Denji is Denji. So I value them at $151,200,000. So taking inflation into account, in 1997 these devils would be worth $79.5 million. So these 3 idiots lost $77.5 million for no reason. well, actually they lost 79.5 million because they never actually killed Denji. All they actually did was get themselves killed. And on that rosy note, we move on to tier 8. These guys are big hitters. And I would say that they're the equivalent of nuclear bombs, but not modern nuclear bombs because there's thousands of those bad boys just lying around. In fact, the USA alone has lost more nuclear bombs than there are devils in this tier. So how much did the first nuclear bomb cost? You know, the most expensive one. 2.2 billion in 1945. With inflation, that makes it $37,291,100,000 for each devil in this tier. And in this tier, we have the Gun Devil. Shocker. Considering for most of Chainsaw Man, this devil was hyped up as the be-all and end-all of devils. Also, we have the Punishment Devil, you know, the devil that one-shot the Gun Devil. But to be fair, this was the Gun Devil at 20% of his power and or size. I don't really know. All I know is the USA owned 20% of his body and the USA sent the Gun Devil. Or at least they're 20% of it. So it might get much bigger or it might stay the same size but like get much stronger when it's at 100%. Who knows? Who cares? That's not what this video is about. Also in this tier, the Hell Devil, entirely because he can send you to hell with the tier 10 devils. More on them later. And finally, the Control Devil, because she can control any devil she deems is lesser than her. On to tier 9, or as I like to call it, the Chainsaw tier, because the only guy here is Chainsaw Man. Not Denji, but Chainsaw Man proper. And it's because of this insane ability. Any devil he eats will cease to exist. Not just in the now, but throughout time. So like in the manga, he ate the World War II devil, so it just never happened. He ate the nuclear weapons devil, so they just don't exist now. Hell, there used to be 4 of the things that happened at the end of a creature's life other than death, but not anymore because Chainsaw Man ate them all. Imagine everything you could do with him. You could destroy world hunger. Ironically, by eating. You could destroy illness, you could destroy war, and so much more. But you could also do a lot of evil. By like eating the fish devil, then poof, no more fish. Or eating the cow devil, then boom, no more beef. Like, I know that's not incredibly evil, but I'm a simple guy. I like my food. Anyway, I couldn't come up with a price with him, so I just put billions. Because my brain just isn't complex enough to figure out his worth. Now finally, we're on to tier 10. The final tier. The primal tier. All the primal fears are here. Obviously. We have the Darkness Devil and the Falling Devil. These are the only 2 that have actually been confirmed as primal fears, but it's not that hard to figure out what a primal fear is. I mean, we're all born with a fear of loud noises and falling is already a primal fear, so why not loud noises? Also fire. All animals are scared of fire and death, so no doubt they're primal fears. Pain, I guess? I mean, no one likes pain, so that's probably a primal fear, and I'm sure there's a handful more. Now, here's a little Chainsaw Man fact. When a devil's killed in hell, it reincarnates on Earth, and then when it's killed on Earth, it reincarnates in hell, and the cycle repeats. But not one of the primal fear devils has ever been killed. They are the immortal, the untouchable, the incomprehensible. And to be honest, I don't think you can put a price on that. I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean, you would at least have to defeat one to sell it, because I doubt they'd get sold willingly. So for the purposes of this video, their price doesn't matter, because no one can defeat and sell them. But if I had to put a price on it, I would put an 8, and then I would turn it on its side. And I think that's a fair price. It might not be reasonable for humans, but I think it's fair. So finally, after all that, I will answer the question you clicked on this video for. How many devils would Denji have to kill to be a billionaire? For tier 1 devils, he would have to kill 2 million of them, which despite them being the weakest tier, I'm pretty sure this one is the least possible, because who has the time to kill 2 million devils? For tier 2 devils, he would need to kill 333,333 of them. Still a bit of an ask, because there also isn't that many devils in this tier. For tier 3 devils, he would have to kill 20,000 of them, so we're getting better, but I think the next tier gives him the best chance. Tier 4 devils, just a reminder, involve the Bat Devil, the Leech Devil, and all advanced fiends, just to name a few. And to be a billionaire, you would need to kill 2,000 of these devils, which I'm not gonna lie, for a normal person, this would be a monumental feat. But for Denji, this would be easy as hell. I mean, I fully believe he could defeat any advanced fiend without even trying. And he managed to beat the Bat Devil in the 2nd volume. And this man had even less of an idea what he was doing back then. He had no idea how to properly use his chainsaws, or even all the abilities they had. But he still destroyed the Bat Devil. And I'm fully convinced that he would have beaten the Leech Devil if he could have just gotten his chains up. I honestly feel like he could smash up 2,000 kills in a year and then just retire forever. And that's only because there will be so many devils in this tier and so many fiends as well. So I think that he could easily beat the devils higher up on this list. It's just the wait period between fights that would make it so difficult for him to get the money. For tier 5 devils, he would have to kill 265 of them. And like I said a few seconds ago, I think he would wipe the floor with all devils in this tier, but I don't think he would be able to find them anywhere near as often as he would be the devils in tier 4. So that's why I believe that this tier isn't the most effective. It's not because Denji's weak, it's because the devils are rare. For tier 6 devils, he would have to kill 66 of them, but I think he would struggle to kill one of these. I think he would still win every fight, but it would be a really high diff. And these devils are exceptionally rare as well. Tier 7 is an extremely reasonable number at 7 kills to be a billionaire, but the only issue with that is that we only see 7 hybrids in all of Chainsaw Man, and Denji is one of them, so there's no chance he would kill all of them, and no point because he would have to fake his own death as well. And that will come up later because he has his own tier, and I'll explain more when we get there. Tier 8 devils is a strange number. In fact, it's not even a whole number. He would have to kill 0.02 of them to be a billionaire, and if you remember correctly, he killed a full one of them at the end of part 1, when he chopped Makima up. FYI, for the nerds out there who will correct me in the comments, I know cutting her up didn't kill her. It was eating her that killed her. But what I will say is Denji shouldn't have won this fight. The only reason he won was because the entire time Denji knew Makima, she had no regard for him at all. Here's some unnecessary background on Makima. She tells people apart by smell, not sight. So whenever she was with Denji, she was smelling Chainsaw Man only and never Denji. You know, because she had no care for him at all. So when Denji and Chainsaw Man separated before the fight with Makima, she had no idea. And when Denji snuck up behind her, she also had no idea. So if she wasn't such a bitch, she would still be alive today. So yeah, Denji being able to kill anything in this tier is a fluky Pyrrhic victory at best, and at worst, a complete massacre for Denji. Tier 9 is perhaps the most interesting billionaire strategy, because this entire tier is just him. In order to collect the money for killing him, he's gonna have to get some deal where he doesn't have to show a body. He could then just stop turning into Chainsaw Man and retire a rich man. And now for the final tier, the primal tier. How many of these devils would Denji have to kill to be a billionaire? The answer is... it's not happening. Denji ain't gonna kill any of the primal fears. No one is. So to conclude, the quickest way for Denji to become a billionaire is to fake his own death. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and goodbye.